Hello? Hello? Can you all hear me? Cool. Well, good afternoon, everyone. So the topic of today is don't waste your time on integration. So it kind of sounds weird because we're an integration company, and then we're telling you to not waste your time. So just a quick show of hands. How many of you are looking to connect Salesforce to any other app? Okay, a good majority of you. So this will be hopefully very interesting for you. All right. Um, so I usually start with my favorite slide. Um, just to, you all can just shout out, how many non-Salesforce SaaS apps do you think is out there in the market today? Just a number. Any takers? 10,000? Okay, you're getting close. Anybody else? That's the number. So if you thought Salesforce is a mega application, there are 150,000 SaaS apps that are non-Salesforce out there. So obviously, a lot of companies like you have to connect Salesforce to all these applications. So it depends on what's your center of gravity. You could probably have all your customer record in Salesforce, but then you're orchestrating business processes. Could be order to cash, could be like a financial transaction, could be employee hiring, and getting that data into Salesforce. The net being, there are so many different apps, and you need to have a business strategy on how you're going to do that quickly and easily. So that's what we are here for. So one of the other challenges is there's a lot of innovation happening in the market, which is why you have all these applications. So on one hand, you have all these emerging technologies that's coming up. You have blockchain, Internet of Things, AR, VR, augmented reality, and all kinds of things. So Salesforce continues to be in the center, but what you have is you have all these applications, newer platforms, which is designed with modern interfaces, and all of these systems are spewing data in gigabytes and terabytes by the day. All right. So let's look at the challenge. This pointer's not working, so let me use the mouse. All right. So that's the environment that we saw, all the new applications coming up. But what's on the left is all your existing systems. So you're not going to get rid of them any day, anytime soon. You have to continue using them and generate ROI, because that's where all of your enterprise data is. It could be your databases, it could be your mainframes, it could be your file systems, and all of that. So all that data which is there, you're probably connecting them through a point-to-point mechanism, or somebody has hard-coded those integrations between those systems. But what has happened is, with all these new technologies coming up on the right, all the new SaaS apps that you saw, and all the legacy stuff that you all are inheriting, there is a chasm. And that chasm is getting wider, and there's a lot of what we call as data silos within the enterprise. And people are not able to make decisions in a quick manner, and people are getting real-time access to information so that they can drive business insights. So that's where integration platforms like Jitterbit exist, and we are trying to help bridge the chasm. So in terms of Salesforce, most of you are using Salesforce, I believe, already. So Salesforce is very popular in terms of it comes with very great APIs, one of the best SaaS APIs out there. But in terms of which APIs do you want to connect to, there are plenty of Salesforce APIs out there. Could be your sales applications, could be your Pardot, could be your platform events, and so on and so forth. So now this is where the value of platform, enterprise iPaaS platform comes into the picture, where you have all these legacy monolithic systems, your on-premise systems, your database, everything sitting in the bottom. And then all of these are having data, and now you have APIs. Now Salesforce, we saw, has dozens of APIs or hundreds of APIs. So what about all these applications that you have, and all the modern systems that you are going to inherit or connect to? All that is spewing, is having a lot of APIs, and you want to surface that and be able to connect to any of your application, be it Salesforce, or push that data from Salesforce to any of the other applications. So that's the problem, and that's where you need the integration platform. And next, what if you don't have APIs? So what are you going to do? How are you going to extract that information into Salesforce? The answer is you need to have an API platform that will help you do that. So that platform helps you not only create data, helps you publish those APIs, and help you manage those APIs. So the product that you need would be an API manager, which helps you do end-to-end API lifecycle management. All right, so that is cool. It just flipped on its own. So the next question is, who's actually going to do that? Is it going to be developers? Great, if you only had 1 or 2 applications. What if you have dozens of applications? That some of these you want to connect today, some of these you want to do tomorrow. How's an enterprise expected to scale having connectivity between all these applications? It is impossible to just have developers manually code. So that's kind of an antiquated way. You need a way for enterprises to scale, for enterprise to do integrations very quickly in a very easy to use manner and in a very modern and secure manner. So that's where the API platform comes into play. Now, this is something that Gartner said. Yeah, sorry. So traditionally, used to have there's a lot of enterprise connectivity done by buses. So that's how things started like more than a decade ago, where you had integration specialists doing that work. They would write code, they would enhance the APIs, and move data between these application systems. But now there's a new genre. What's happening is, and this is by Gartner, is a new set of people who you call as either business users, you call as citizen users, you call as ad hoc integrators. There are different kinds of people. What that means is people who want to consume data in a quick manner. For example, what if you're hiring a person, and that's what Matthew will demo today, maybe use Workday as a system of employee record, and you want to move that data into import because you want to do employee onboarding, for example. What if you want to have an order to cash process? There are hundreds of business processes that companies like you all know. And the way to do that is you can't expect the integration specialist to be the bottleneck to create that integration. So that's the traditional way, whereas the modern way is where IT is kind of leaning towards business users, your ad hoc integrators, which would be, I don't know, like a Salesforce admin, a marketing admin, or it could even be technical business analysts who understand some kind of code, who can build some transformation and logic to kind of enhance the value of your data. And those are the kind of people coming in today and saying, I want to be able to do that because I can't expect IT to do that integration for me. So Jitterbit offers that platform which helps all these people do integrations concurrently. So you do have integration specialists who need deep integration capabilities. They could do orchestrations, they could do workflows, they could build business logic, they could even write code. You need to have empower those people with capabilities. At the same time, you also have your citizen users, your ad hoc integrators. Even those people have capabilities to do quick and rapid integration using our platform. Well, the proof is in the pudding. Those people who are like non-technical can get up and running doing integration in just a matter of a couple of days. So that's how easy our platform is. And that's what we believe, to have all kinds of people, be it specialists or common users, to do integrations quickly and support the business logic for an enterprise. So with that, next what we'll do is we'll put to a demo and a hand over to Matthew, who will actually show you how to orchestrate these simple business use cases using our platform. Over to you, Matthew.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me? Outstanding. So today I was trying to think about what kind of demos make sense for the room. I work with Salesforce every week as a solutions engineer. I'm talking to customers over and over and over again, showing what we can do with Salesforce, what we can do with all sorts of things. So sometimes Salesforce is the target, sometimes Salesforce is the source for data. If you are doing a quote to cash kind of thing where you create an account and an order inside Salesforce, and in the background you want your ERP to get all that information and feed Salesforce back, that would be Salesforce as the source. If what we're showing today, you have Salesforce as the target, that might be a part of a new hire process. So the source in this case is going to be Workday. Workday is all sorts of things, but in this case, it is basically the place where the information about a new hire would come in. And so what we're going to do is through the Workday interface, create this user, push a button, and then have Salesforce get updated with that new hire information and instantiate a user, right? That's the flow. So let's go ahead and see what that would look like. We're already up. So these are the people I've already created today and the 5 times I have practiced in the morning. And that's a Salesforce instance that we're using specifically for this. We have our own Workday instance here. And so you guys don't have to watch me type, have filled in the stuff that you need to do for a new hire inside Workday. So what we're going to do is have Jack Ryan here. We just hired him. He's a developer. We want him to have a Salesforce account and be ready to go when he sits down at his desk. So I'm going to go ahead and submit what I've already filled out. Now when I press this done button, here's what's going to happen. Workday and many applications have the concept of a webhook. The webhook concept is this. You take the information I just created inside that new hire and you bundle it up into a payload, right? So the guy's name, all the stuff you want to send goes into that payload. That webhook will call an API that we own, that we're listening, our API platform, and say, here's a payload to go through this process. We receive the payload, we go ahead and process that payload into Salesforce. Salesforce will do what it needs to do to enter that new user and reply with whatever reply is needed to complete that sequence. So all of that happened with that done click. So the user never sees anything. This is all behind the scenes stuff. So we'll give that, 20, 30 seconds to complete. I'll refresh the screen. And there we go. We've got Jack Ryan as our new employee. All the information about him is available in his record. So that's what we call that, what most of my customers call that is an onboarding process. So Salesforce might be one thing that you're going to onboard. You might have 17 things. You might have Active Directory. You might have all sorts of other things. And that's where Jitterbit comes in as a workflow engine as well as just an ETL layer and an API manager. So let's go ahead and look at the project that created all this. So everything that I just showed you, except for the API, and I can show you that later, this is the integration. 4 boxes. It's human readable. I don't know, I have to say that because I've seen a lot of the other integration platforms out there and you don't know what you're looking at. Here it's pretty clear. API request comes in. We have a transformation taking that data and putting it into a format that Salesforce likes. Wizard driven, by the way. Upsert that user to Salesforce and return. That's all there is. 4 boxes. And let's be honest. If I go into the new transformation, just so you see, this is where the most complex part of it, then we show you the transformation and that mapping from the payload over to Salesforce. And in this case, we have one of these that has a script involved. This is a little formatting script. We have 250 functions you can use in order to enhance the workflow. You want to go to a DB lookup. You want to do some validation, that kind of stuff on the fly. We have that at all levels on the platform. But other than that, it is basically, as I said, it's this workflow. Now let's say you wanted to add another. We've got the Salesforce. Let's say we also want that developer to be a part of GitHub. So I want to add that function, because reuse, by the way, is key to our platform. So let's take GitHub. See that over here? I'm going to add that to the workflow by dragging and dropping. Now you've got these 2 workflows, and now let's tie them together. GitHub, there we go. Add the action. We're down here, we have the action activated. The green line. If the first one succeeds, do the second. That's it. I've just created an operation chain. And if you had 20 more, you could do it that way. You could also do it conditionally. If he's an engineer, do this. If he's a sales guy, do that. All within our platform. All powered, by the way, by our API manager feeding the information that the workflow engine, needs to do this properly. Make sense? Outstanding. So at this point, I'll go ahead and pass it back, and we can take questions a little bit later if you'd like.
Yeah. So I think in summary, yeah. So in summary, what we saw is a power of a platform where it could literally do a drag and drop integration in a drag and drop approach, where Matthew showed the reusable components of the platform as well, where you build something, there's a library that you can have, you can pull it back, you can build logic in it, and it doesn't require developers to do that. Anybody in the organization who wants to quickly move data between systems have bi-directional flows. So that's something that we heard a lot from all of you customers, companies coming to our booth. How do I build this bi-directional flow? How do I have sync of data? How do I build logic to say, if then, if this happens, then I want to do a certain business process. So all of that is possible. And what Matthew showed is it's very simple. It's very visually interactive. And you can build logic and branching and all kinds of things using our platform. So having a low-code integration platform to augment any of the deep capabilities that developers would need is kind of the key. What we did not show today is how you could write complex code to do much more complex things in the enterprise. So if you want to kind of learn more about that, please stop by our booth. So we are downstairs, and we are happy to show the features of the API manager. So Matthew and others in our team were actually happy to show you that, how we can do that. So at this point, so that was what we had to talk about today. If you have any questions, please stop by, and we are happy to answer that for you. Thank you.